Hello everyone, welcome back to Arpita Sharma classes. I am your educator Arpita Sharma, and in the UPSC CSE case study series we are bringing up this entirely different and very significant case when it comes to your Indian constitution, when it comes to the relationship between judiciary, executive and legislature, when it comes to limiting the amendments that can be made in the constitution. We very seriously, study this case, Kesavananda Bharati case. Now, in Kesavananda Bharati case, 1973, the Supreme Court actually redefined the relationship between judiciary, between executive and legislature. And the Supreme Court also set some limits on the amendments that can be made in the Constitution. This case is very important for your paper 2 in mains and really important for your prelims. There can be approximately 20 questions that can be framed out of this single case in prelims exam. आपके prelims के exam में 20 questions बहुत easily इस single case से निकल कर आ सकते हैं. So we are going to study this case not from the perspective of just mains but from the perspective of prelims also. If you study this case, with me seriously, dedicatedly till the very end, then I assure you that if any question comes from this particular case in your prelims exam or mains exam, you will be in a position to answer it very confidently. So stay with me till the very end. Please take out your pen and paper or your notes register wherein you are making your notes of paper 2 and just understand what I am going to teach you and also try to make your own short notes from this lecture. Do not be extremely dependent on the PDFs. However, I will be sharing the PDF of this lecture on my Telegram channel, but you make your own notes as well. Now we know that there are many Supreme Court judgments which have changed the face of Indian polity and law, but the landmark Supreme Court judgments are very important for your exam. ऐसे तो हजारों सुप्रीम कोर्ट की जजमेंट्स निकल कर आई हैं जिससे लॉ का पूरा शेप ही चेंज हुआ है कई बार. बट कुछ लैंडमार्क जजमेंट्स ऐसी हैं जो आपके एग्जाम के लिए एज एन एडमिनिस्ट्रेटर आपको जाननी चाहिए, बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. And we are going to study today Keshavananda Bharati case, wherein the main petitioner was Keshavananda Bharati of Keshavananda Bharati Shripad Galvaru, and it was against the Kerala state government. Okay, now basically this case is very famous, under the heading called Basic Structure Doctrine of Supreme Court. ये जो केस है ना, इसके अंदर एक टाइटल दिया गया है, Basic Structure Doctrine. Okay, this is the title which has been given to this case. So what is basic structure doctrine? We are going to study that as well, don't worry. Now Kesavananda Bharati, what he did, he challenged the Kerala land reforms legislations which were imposed in 1970. 1970 में ना Kerala land reforms legislation को इन्होंने challenge किया. Okay, because this Kerala land reforms legislation imposed restrictions on the management of religious property. जितनी भी स्टेट में religious property है, buildings हैं, lands हैं, उनके ऊपर restrictions लगा रहा था ये legislation. This Kerala land reform legislation basically was, interfering in the management of the property of the religious, and this case was challenged under which article? Under article 26. Please underline this. इसको underline कर लीजिए. इस case में जो challenge आया था वो under article 26 आया था concerning the right to manage religiously owned property without government interference. Okay. Point clear? So first important point we have understood from the perspective of prelims. Article 26 के अंदर इस केस में challenge उठाया गया था. What is Article 26? Right to manage religiously owned property without government interference. Okay, so basically they were violating this article by this legislation. That is why Keshavananda Bharati ji challenged this legislation. And then there was this 13 judge bench which was set up by Supreme Court, and it is said it has been the biggest bench which has been constituted in a case so far. अभी तक जो भी केसेस सुप्रीम कोर्ट में सामने आए हैं उनमें सबसे ये केस एक ऐसा केस है जिसमें सबसे ज्यादा जजेस वाला एक बेंच बिठाया गया, कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल बेंच बिठाया गया इस केस को स्टडी करने के लिए और जजमेंट देने के लिए. So 13 judge bench was set up which was the biggest so far to hear this case. Now the main question or main point to contemplate in this case is that what was the underlying question in दिस इंटायर केस, ये जो पूरा केस था ना, इसके अंदर मेन किस पॉइंट पे बात हो रही थी, which point was targeted in this case, which point was so important that raised huge questions in this case. The question which was important in this case was the power of parliament to amend the constitution unlimited? Here you can see the Kerala government imposed this Kerala land reforms legislation, which was going against Article 26. So basically the question is, the power of parliament to amend the constitution, is it unlimited, that it can surpass any fundamental right which is provided by the constitution? क्या parliament के पास इतनी power है कि fundamental right को भी वापस लेने की कोशिश कर सकता है गवर्नमेंट? क्या इतनी पावर है उनके पास कि वो कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन के अगेंस्ट जाके कोई काम कर सकते हैं? This was the question that was raised when this case came into the limelight. Another question was, could parliament alter, amend, abrogate any part of the constitution, even to the extent of taking away the fundamental right? दूसरा क्वेश्चन ये आता है, पहला क्वेश्चन तो ये कि क्या पार्लियामेंट के पास अनलिमिटेड पावर है कि कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन को किसी भी तरीके से अमेंड कर सकता है? सेकंड क्वेश्चन, क्या पार्लियामेंट इतना भी अमेंडमेंट कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में ला सकता है कि वो फंडामेंटल राइट ही छीन ले लोगों से? ठीक है, तो these were the two very grave, very serious, very major questions which came into the limelight when this case came up. जब ये केस बाहर निकल कर आया लोगों के सामने, तब ये दो क्वेश्चन सबके दिमाग में चल रहे थे. And here that is why this biggest Supreme Court bench was set up to look into the case. It was a very serious case. It was a matter of huge responsibility on the shoulders of these judges to pass a judgment in this case. मतलब अगर थोड़ी सी भी जजमेंट इधर उधर हुई तो समझ लो कि डेमोक्रेसी पूरी तरीके से खत्म ही हो जाएगी देश से. ठीक है, अगर आप पार्लियामेंट को पूरी पावर देते हो कि भाई आप कैसे भी कुछ भी कर सकते हैं, और कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन को कितने हद तक भी अमेंड कर सकते हैं, फंडामेंटल राइट तक ले सकते हैं लोगों की, अगर आपको आपकी कोई काम करवाना है, तो उस केस में तो डेमोक्रेसी रहेगी नहीं. दैट वुड बी टोटलिटेरियन स्टेट. So Supreme Court judges had a very huge responsibility to pass a fair judgment in this case, keeping in mind the supremacy of the constitution. So there was a landmark judgment which was passed on 24th April 1973, and by a 7-6 verdict, 13-judge constitution bench ruled that the basic structure of the constitution is inviolable. Whatever you do, you cannot violate the basic structure of the constitution. तो देखो majority 7-6 की थी, यानी कि 6 judges, तो the 6 judges, they were saying they were in favor of giving the unlimited power to government, but 7 judges, one more extra judge, was in favor of maintaining the constitutional supremacy, okay, limiting the power of the parliament. So here that is why we got this landmark judgment that government cannot blatantly use their power, okay, if they cannot take away fundamental right, they cannot amend the constitution by destroying the basic structure of the constitution. No, ऐसा नहीं कर सकते. Now the question is basic structure of the constitution defined by the Supreme Court judges? The answer is no, it is not defined. Even till today, the Supreme Court judges come up with different topics in the constitution, different areas in the constitutions, and they include it in the basic structure. So abhi bhi the definition is getting expanded, okay, there are different topics, different you can say titles and different areas which the Supreme Court have put under the list of basic structure, okay. It is a non, you can say, exhaustive list, okay. So the Supreme Court in this judgment said that basic structure is inviolable, you cannot destroy the basic structure, okay, and it could not be amended by parliament. Now what can be included in basic structure? So I'll tell you that as well. यहाँ पर आप देख सकते हो basic structure doctrine क्या है. Basically the Supreme Court judges said that the doctrine of basic structure is the pillar on which the constitutional law is standing. Basic structure तो एक ऐसा doctrine है, एक ऐसा principle है जिसपे हमारा law खड़ा हुआ है. अगर आप उस pillar को ही हटा दोगे तो law भी गिर जाएगा. If you remove that or destroy that pillar, the law will also fall. So doctrine of basic structure is the fundamental pillar of Indian constitutional law. It has originated from the German Constitution. Okay, and this particular law, this is again important point for your prelims examination. ठीक है, then basic structure में क्या आता है? Judicial review comes under basic structure, secularism comes under basic structure, parliamentary democracy comes under basic structure, fundamental rights comes under basic structure, federalism comes under basic structure. All these are a part of basic structure. You cannot amend or change the fundamental rights. You cannot, remove or change the judicial review power of Supreme Court. You cannot remove or interfere or change the secularism of the nation. You cannot destroy the parliamentary democracy, or you cannot change or amend the parliamentary democracy. These are fundamental tenets on which the entire constitutional law is standing. And that is why, we were saved from being converted into a totalitarian state. Our democracy was safeguarded by this landmark judgment. In the doctrine of basic structure, Supreme Court also said that no law can destroy or impinge on the basic structure. Basically, in India, the bedrock of judicial review of all laws passed by Parliament, it is the doctrine of basic structure only. Okay, ये point आप याद रखिएगा. भारत में judicial review के bedrock पे सारे laws खड़े हुए हैं, और वो safeguarded कैसे हैं? इस doctrine की वजह से वो protected हैं. Point clear हो गया? So it is the judiciary that is responsible to decide what constitutes the basic structure. Nobody else can dictate what is basic structure or what is not basic structure. ये point आप याद रखिएगा. All right. So the basic structure doctrine, let us summarize it. It is basically since this particular case, it has been interpreted by Supreme Court. It includes supremacy of constitution. It includes rule of law. It includes independence of judiciary. It includes doctrine of separation of power. It includes federalism, secularism, sovereignty, democratic republic, parliamentary system of government, principle of free and fair elections, welfare state, etc. So this list is never ending. Okay? Every year Supreme Court adds one or the other tenets of the Indian constitutional law into the list of basic structure of the constitution. Clear हो गई बात? यहाँ तक point clear है? All right. If you have any doubt now, do let me know in the comment section. I'll happily solve all your doubts. Now here, in the landmark judgment, the majority held that any provision of Indian constitution can be amended by parliament. Yes, आप Indian constitution के किसी भी provision को amend कर सकते हो if you want to fulfill your socio-economic obligations towards the citizens. But that amendment cannot change the basic structure. That is our judgment. सुप्रीम कोर्ट के जजेस ने ये कहा कि अगर आपको सोशियो इकोनॉमिक आपके ऑब्लिगेशन है टुवर्ड्स द सिटीजंस, टुवर्ड्स द नेशन, जिम्मेदारी है, आपको अमेंडमेंट लानी है, आप ला सकते हो, बट विदाउट इंटरफेयरिंग और डिस्ट्रॉइंग द बेसिक स्ट्रक्चर और विदाउट चेंजिंग द बेसिक स्ट्रक्चर ऑफ द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन. ऐसा नहीं है कि उस अमेंडमेंट से आप किसी की फंडामेंटल राइट ले लो, फेडरलिज्म को खत्म कर दो, सेक्युलरिज्म को तबाह कर दो, या पार्लियामेंट्री डेमोक्रेसी को ही खत्म कर दो. ऐसा नहीं कर सकते. बेसिक स्ट्रक्चर को छुए बिना जो अमेंडमेंट लानी है वो ला सकते हो. Okay, point clear? And after this judgment, the 24th constitutional amendment was entirely valid. Basically, the 24th Constitutional Amendment Act said Parliament had also given itself the power to amend any part of the Constitution, but in this judgment it was added without changing the basic structure of the Constitution. 24th कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल अमेंडमेंट में ये लेकर आई थी गवर्नमेंट, पार्लियामेंट किसी भी तरीके अपने आप को पावर दे सकती है कि वो कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन के किसी पार्ट को अमेंड कर सकता है, पर सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने इस केस के बाद ये पॉइंट ऐड कर दिया कि अमेंड तो कर सकते हो बट बेसिक स्ट्रक्चर को छेड़छाड़ नहीं कर सकते. ठीक है, पॉइंट क्लियर? देन देयर वाज दिस 25th कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल अमेंडमेंट एक्ट ऑफ 1972 व्हिच बेसिकली रिमूव्ड द राइट टू प्रॉपर्टी एज अ फंडामेंटल राइट. ओके, बट the court found that second part of this amendment act was ultra vires. Now let us understand the 25th Constitutional Amendment Act of 1971. Basically, this amendment act amended Article 31, which stated the fundamental right to property, that if any person whose property was acquired by government, that person would be entitled to a compensation. That was Article 31. So this article was amended and a new article was introduced, Article 31C. नया आर्टिकल इंट्रोड्यूस किया गया था, आर्टिकल 31C. So Supreme Court declared that Article 31C is unconstitutional and invalid because in this particular article the judicial review power of the court is being taken away. You cannot do that because it is a part of basic structure doctrine. So that is why this article was termed as unconstitutional. Okay, point clear हो गया यहाँ तक सभी को? All right. So here Article 31C basically said that if there is any law which has been passed to implement the objectives of this particular amendment act, it cannot be reviewed, it cannot be challenged by court for violating the fundamental right. And here Supreme Court said that judicial review is the part of basic structure. You cannot remove it, you cannot destroy it, and that is why Article 31C was termed as unconstitutional. The second part of the 25th Constitutional Amendment Act was declared as ultra vires, that is, it is against law. Okay, so let us summarize this case. We have so far studied that the constitutional bench had ruled by a 7-6 majority that parliament should be restrained from altering basic structure of the constitution, and basic structure has not been defined by constitution, so it's a non-exhaustive list. Okay, court didn't define basic structure, but few principles have been added time and again in the definition. For example, there is federalism, parliamentary form of government, democracy, secularism, etc. Court also held that Article 368, which provides Parliament the amending powers, something must remain of original constitution that the new amendment would change. So basically the court is hinting that you cannot change the fundamental principles or the basic structure of the constitution. अगर आप changes ला भी रहे हो तो original constitution का कुछ part आपको retain करके रखना पड़ेगा. आप पूरी तरीके से constitution के उस part को change नहीं कर सकते. Basic structure since this case has been interpreted to include supremacy of law, rule of law, independence of judiciary, doctrine of separation of powers, judiciary, executive and legislature के बीच में, federalism, secularism, democratic republic, parliamentary system of government, free and fair election, welfare state, all of these have been included since then in the basic structure definition. Now let us understand if the judgment was basically the opposite of what it was actually, what could have happened. मतलब समझ लो कि अभी तो जजमेंट ये आई थी कि आप बेसिक स्ट्रक्चर को नहीं छेड़ सकते, ठीक है. मान लो कि भाई सुप्रीम कोर्ट की मेजोरिटी ने कहा होता कि हाँ पार्लियामेंट कुछ भी ऑल्टर कर सकता है, देन व्हाट वुड हैव हैपेंड? सिंपल, देयर वुड हैव बीन अ वन पार्टी रूल, देन the democracy would convert into a totalitarian state and constitution would have lost its supremacy. That is why this judgment is very important. अगर ये थोड़ी सी भी इधर उधर होती जजमेंट तो समझ लो डेमोक्रेसी पूरी तरीके से खत्म हो चुकी होती. 39th amendment was passed, prohibited any challenge. This particular amendment prohibited any challenge to the election of president, vice president, speaker, prime minister, irrespective of any kind of malpractice that they have done. So this amendment, thankfully, it was not passed. Why? Because of this judgment only. Okay, वरना क्या होता? Anybody could have, after doing any kind of malpractice, could be standing for the post of president or vice president or speaker. Then there was 41st amendment that could not be passed because of this, thankfully, of this judgment. This 41st amendment prohibited any criminal or civil case being filed against president, vice president, prime minister or governor, not only during their terms of office but for forever. So for example, if a person has became a governor for just one day, he would gain immunity from any legal proceedings for his entire life. So that would be, ultra vires the constitution. That would be against the basic nature of the democracy of the nation. So if parliament would have gained supreme powers, these amendments would have become a part of the, constitution. It would have been very shocking situation for a democratic nation like India. So we are thankful to this particular judgment by the Supreme Court that said that basic structure of the constitution, power of judicial review has to be protected. So this was all for today. I hope you enjoyed this case. In 18 minutes, we have summarized the entire Keshavananda Bharati case from its roots. Thank you and have a beautiful day ahead.